Hey guys, so I just wanted to hop on here and do like a little update and maybe like a general read. I don't really want to do like all signs reads right now because, just I sold all of my tables. I'm um, getting my truck fitted this week and picking up my camper. I'm gonna be off grid. Solar panel powered, full bathroom, cute kitchen. Like I'm very excited. It's tiny, but it's cozy and it's pretty, and I'm excited. But yeah, I'm gonna go live off grid, um, which is like terrifying and exciting. And I don't know. I feel like I've just been undergoing a complete like liquefaction of my ego. And yeah, so thanks for being patient with me while I undergo this transformation. I definitely have a lot of ideas and plans, and have been, just kind of like getting myself staged to really carry out some things that I've wanted to do for a long time and just haven't, for all of the reasons. But things are turning in a massive way, and I'm holding on for dear life, hoping to all things holy in this universe that everything goes smoothly. Like so far so good. I have finally. I'm still waiting for my license in the mail, which is a kind of like my final, like that last, like like I can finally go. Um, Colorado DMV. I cannot tell you how many times I have been there just like in the past 6 months. It's been a pain in the ass, but my license is in the mail, so there's that. Yeah, anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you again so much for, like chilling and being patient with me while I'm sorting through all of the changes that are going on, and like focusing my energy more inwardly than externally, because there's so many big changes occurring that I cannot be inundated with people's opinions, especially people who don't really, I mean, they mean well. I don't say that as like people and their opinions, it's like I get like the intention is great, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So like I've just been clearing out that path. I don't want the road to hell. I'm trying to find the road to nature. Okay, so anyways, yeah, um, I will go ahead and do a general read for just kind of the energy that's at hand. I know we're coming up on eclipse season, and life is changing for a lot of us in really big ways and beautiful ways, that I think have been a long time coming. And, like, three cheers to us for making it to the other side, I guess, right? The womb. Queen. The riddle. The riddle, the queen, the animal, and the womb. Um, I feel like, I mean, I want to start with the queen, I guess. The queen is, the idea of like a point of influence, right? It's the neck that turns the head in the direction that it needs to go. Don't get hung up on the gender of it all. Everybody embodies, both masculine and feminine energy. So, like, um, but it's the idea of like an unseen influence, right? I mean, the full moon, and the idea of the spiritual idea behind that is that, like the moon moves the tides, right? And we're made up of a whole lot of water, a high percentage. I don't know what the percentage is, but I remember that it's a lot, like 75% or something. But so we are moved by the moon. We are influenced by that, you know, like if it's strong enough to pull the tides of the ocean, it's strong enough to pull the tides of the individual. um you know, and I feel like there's just this idea of like feeling pulled, you know, in a direction, you know, like where you're just like I don't know, I can't not go in this direction. You know what I mean? I feel like there's just like this pull of influence, um, that's happening, and I I feel like, you know, like the riddle is the idea of like you don't really, you have to kind of like figure it out, and you know, like unknotting a ball of yarn, right? You know, like it takes time and attention to detail, and you know, like you have to really, like if you want to deal with this like massive ball of knots that you have, like you have to go in little by little, piece by piece, and sort it out, you know, pull it apart so that you can, you know, use this otherwise useless piece of yarn to, you know, knit you a really dope blanket. I like to knit. But that's kind of the idea, is that like whatever this influence is that is like pulling you, I feel like to you it's, or not even, I feel like to the outside world it's this ball of yarn, this like knotted up ball of yarn, and you're like pulling it apart, and it's taking time, but it's just, I feel like almost like this compulsive need to like uncover like the beauty that's at hand, because the animal is the idea of loyalty. You know, like I always think of the Twilight example of like the imprint, you know, and the wolf guy is imprinted by the main character girl. I don't know their names, but you know what I'm saying though, right? Like he's like it's that idea of like just like this connection, this pull, this influence, you know, and it towards something that feels. I mean, the womb is the idea of protection. It's the place where, you know, like you grow babies. You know, like there's the nutrients that you need is there, the, you know, like the security, the safety from, you know, anything that could hurt you, you know, you're protected in the womb. And I feel like there's just this draw to something, because it feels like a safe place of development, but also, you know, like a little bit like a ball of yarn that has to be untangled, but you know, like with the reward of like making something really pretty. Okay, so let's pull some more cards for clarifiers. I mean, it's good energy. It feels a little exhausting, if I'm being totally honest. Like unknotting yarn is like my least favorite part of the process. You know what I mean? Just like, oh my god, you know, like it just takes forever. And so I feel like there is that, like that element of just like, is this ever going to end? And yet this pull of, you know, like of just like sincere determination that's coming from, you know, like an emotional state of being. I mean, the queen and the moon, I mean, the moon is your emotion, you know, and what is energy if not, you know, our emotion is energy in motion, right? I mean, it's just the experience of the energy surrounding you. And I feel like that's that pull, is this like energy surrounding you. Yeah, the Four of Cups. It is, that's that frustration. The Four of Cups, you know, just like feeling sad, feeling frustrated, feeling like, you know, and like he's it's all it's all pouring out, but he doesn't even care. Like if he would hold his head up, you know, like his emotions wouldn't be all over the floor. But instead he's drooping over and he's being, you know, being sad, you know, which is like, I don't say that as a point of like criticism. It's just like an acknowledgement of a state of existence, you know, like sometimes we just feel sad, and that's okay too, you know, because when you are, you know, sorting through those emotions, it gives you a better opportunity to, like reflect on, like how is it that you came into these emotions, and like how is it that you can avoid doing that in the future, like lessons learned, right? It's not always comfortable, but it's usually always necessary. And then you have the Page of Swords and the Two of Cups. Again, it's just kind of this idea of like this loyalty, this like desire to, like commit yourself to really unraveling the yarn, so that you can have this. I just keep thinking of like a blanket, like your blanket, like it keeps you warm, it keeps you safe, like sometimes even if it's really hot and I want to like have my leg out, I still like to have my blanket there. You know what I mean? Because it's just like it's a security thing, I guess. But that's what this feels like. It's just like this sense of security and safety. That it's just kind of like the idea of not having that is really disappointing to you. Um, but I think, also maybe like serving as that motivating factor. The Six of Swords, the Six of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Lots of wands. I feel like, again, the Six of Wands or the Six of Cups, in this deck is just kind of the idea of like going over like remembering the emotional experiences that you had, remembering the good, remembering the bad, remembering, just kind of like hindsight's 2020, right? And sometimes we don't really see things for what they are until we're looking back with a better understanding. And I feel like that's just kind of like what this is just looking back with a better understanding. But with that understanding comes that awareness, that knowledge of like, okay, well, and this is the thing, again, it's like emotion. Like if you allow yourself the opportunity to process your emotion, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to gain insight and understanding to things that were otherwise you couldn't logically like justify or explain, and it's just kind of like, well, because everything's not like the world is not logistics. Like, I'm sorry, toxic patriarchy, like there's so much more to it than that. And I feel like there's an idea here of really like once you explore the emotional avenue of whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's frustrating, even if it makes you, feel a little sad and a little like, I don't even know, like, I'm just gonna stay hunched over and let it all pour out. But like in doing that, you are releasing, like the negative, the weight. I mean, like our emotions affect us physically. And if you don't process your emotions, that physically affects your body. And I feel like whatever this is that you're going through, it's an opportunity to really process your emotion in a way that allows you to almost like physically heal yourself. Like emotional health is physical health. And I feel like you know that, and you're holding on to that. The Ten of Wands is like that moment before fusion. Like I'm going to hold it to my heart so that it can fuse with me. And then the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands is like quick movement towards partnership and teamwork. Like I feel like there's an idea here of like really having to pull away in a sense of isolation while you're sorting through your emotion. But like still holding on to like the process, like keeping the faith alive. That once you unravel this ball of yarn, you're going to have the understanding necessary, because intelligence is like, I love intelligent people are some of my favorite people in the world. There is a stark contrast between intellect and emotional intelligence. And one does not mean that you have the other. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like just as an individual, I tend to be very emotionally intelligent. But I can be, but I mean, I also grew up around college professors who were always smarter than me. So I was used to always like being surrounded by people who were more intelligent than me. And so I'm always an advocate for surrounding yourself with people who have different levels of intelligence, in different areas, different types of intelligence, because, like if we're singular, if we are one dimensional, then we limit our experiences and we run into, like walls of limitation, just if for no other reason than ignorance alone, but we live in an age of opportunity to, develop in all ways. It's my PSA, I guess. I don't know. Okay. The Eight of Cups, the Moon, the Nine of Cups, and the Knave of Wands. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the idea of like, I know that there are better things for me if I just can like move past this. But again, that pull, that idea of like, I have to follow my emotions. I have to follow my intuition. I have to follow this pull that is like saying like, I need to go in this way. And there might be a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about that, but it's not about what you're supposed to be doing. It's about what you're being drawn to do, and the opportunity to really, move toward, fulfillment. The Nine of Cups is the idea of like wish fulfillment. So I feel like you're there. You're on the cusp of it. You're really needing to sort through like the emotional process of it all. And develop that form of intelligence, because it's all limitless, right? There's no cap on any of it. Okay, let's do a final card and we'll call it a read. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hopefully I will be settled in, I mean, I say settled, I don't know what that means anymore, but getting settled into a routine of sorts, in the next couple of weeks. And so hopefully I'll be able to really start, like re-streaming my content, and presenting it very differently than what I have to date. But yeah, hopefully in a couple of more weeks, but que sera, sera. Okay, one last card. The Eternal Child. I love that because there's a lot of innocence. I mean, I feel like if you think, especially the animal, I love this card because, I mean, animals are just loyal. They just love you, and especially if you have like vocal animals, like they'll put you in your place too. Like huskies or German shepherds. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get a German shepherd, but it's just this idea of having a loyalty to something that like it feels safe, it feels like something that you want to do. Like, can I do it? Can I hang out with the with the big kids is almost what I want to say. But like this, not even a can I so much as a like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like I'm gonna go for it. Like I feel like there's just like this dedication and this loyalty to, like secure new beginnings, but really having to just like go through the emotional process of it all. I'm right there with you. So, you know, This song just popped into my head, but I have no idea who sings it. It's the like "You Are Not Alone." It's like R. Kelly. God, I hope not. Anyways, yeah. I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.